Hi, welcome back. It's been quite a few weeks since I posted a video, but today I'm really willing to share with all my fellow teachers one very useful tip, especially every single time we embark on reading tasks and we want to get our teens to go over reading passages and texts. We all know that nowadays, this new generation, uh, they are submerged in the technological world and they are not really used to reading information from newspapers, from books, or online. So sometimes when we have to work on a task, on a reading task in the course book with which we're working in a language center or on our own, we start, having reservations towards how to engage our teens to feel motivated and really willing to work on the reading task. So, having that in mind, don't you start thinking that presenting the reading tasks in the very traditional way by asking students, okay, please read the title of the text of the passage. All right, and if there's an introductory question, okay, answer this question. Great, good. Okay, now please, you have 10 or 12 minutes to read the text twice or three times. All right, good. Okay, now answer the questions. Part A, B, whatever. Don't you think that it would be kind of loathsome for them? Exactly. Even for us, we're exposed to a lot of images and pictures and photographs on social media that we are not really highly engaged with reading tasks. So, for that reason, today I'm going to share with you a very effective tip to make teens a lot more cooperative to work on reading passages. Last week I tried it and it really worked. I have a group of six teenagers in my class. And so I was thinking, what can I do to make them a lot more, cooperative, a lot more engaged and motivated, a lot more willing to read something, to read a text that is made up of three or sometimes two large paragraphs. So here we go. This is what I did. I got some paper, those large sheets of paper that you can buy in a stationery store, and big markers. And I transferred the text into small parts and chunks, and I wrote, for example, two or three sentences from the text on each big piece of paper as a puzzle. After that, I stick these slips of paper on the walls in the class, and I decorated the classroom with these slips of paper, which actually were small texts from the whole reading passage that I had transferred onto them. Obviously, before asking students to stand up and unscramble those parts of the text and make them into a coherent passage. Of course, we worked on the brainstorming task. I put some pictures related to the story and they described the pictures, they activated their vocabulary, their background knowledge. And then I told them, okay, look around. Have you noticed that the walls contain small pieces of paper with two or three sentences in each one of them? And they said, oh, yeah, right. Okay, so now what you have to do is to work all together and try to put these pieces of this puzzle into the correct sequence and form the passage, form the story from beginning to the end. They loved it. They were physically engaged. They had to stand up and they were looking around. They were cooperating. They were helping each other and saying, hey, I think this one goes over here. No. And they were, a lot more, into the task. So I was obviously observing how they were behaving during the task, and they were putting all these pieces of paper onto the table, trying to find out what the sequence of event was. It was amazing to see them work. They were not passive learners anymore. They were not sitting on their chairs anymore, silent and way too quiet. Well, there's nothing wrong with being quiet when you're working on reading tasks, but the approach to this task itself was something different that I imagine they hadn't seen before. And that's why, because it was different, they loved it. And obviously, in the end of the task, they had this huge sense of completion and success because they were able to form the sequence of events of the story. They succeeded in it, and they had this sense of working in teams. It was a great task and a great way to see them a lot more engaged.